This week's Torah portion was called Parshat Terumah, and a large portion of it deals with the construction of the Mishkan or the Tabernacle. Now, I've shown a bit of this before, but this is a shorter version um, that demonstrates that the numbers present in that chapter or in that portion are found other places in the Torah. And this is actually connected to something I noticed literally the first time I picked up the Torah. I noticed that when you get to Genesis 5 and it's the famous genealogy, um, there's something going on with Canaan. So this isn't Kenan, this is Canaan, um, and he lived for 70 years. And after the birth of Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years. And it says all the days of Canaan came to 910 years. Now, if you look at that, all the numbers here are actually multiples of 7 or 70. So 70 times 12 is 840, and 70 times 13 is 910. And also, interestingly enough, Canaan's name has the gematria value of 210, which is also a multiple of 70. So there's something going on here with him, and you don't find this with any other names in this genealogy. It's just with him. Now I'm going to show that 840 and 910 are also found in connection to the Mishkan. So we'll go to our Torah portion here. And Hashem, God, said to Moses, let them present their offerings for the dedication of the altar, one chieftain each day. The one who presented this offering on the first day was Nachshon, son of Aminadab, of the tribe of Judah. Now, here's where it gets interesting. His offering, one silver bowl weighing 130 shekels, and one silver basin of 70 shekels by the sanctuary weight. 70 shekels. So this thing here is repeated 12 times, which gives you 70 times 12, which is 840. And then it's mentioned one more time, making it 13 times just to total it up, and it comes to 910. And we'll actually check this out for ourselves. So keep an eye on the verse numbers because it will look the same as I go through this. So we're looking for the number 70. So we have it once, twice, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's seeing the verse 70 here, so that one doesn't count. 11, 12, and here is the total 13. So 70 is found 13 times, which gives you 910. This is how it's connected to Canaan, but there are other ways as well, as we'll see shortly. We'll go back up to the original verse, number 713, as we see it here. Now, when you look at the commentaries and then you go to Midrash, you'll see it quoted here. Here's our verse, 70 shekels according to the holy shekel from our verse here. What's very interesting to me is, if you continue down, of course it's talking about the Nachash, and it did say that Nachshon ben Aminadab was in charge of this. Nachshon's name has the word Nachash, which is the serpent, so they're kind of going over that here. But if you continue down, look what you find. And Canaan lived 70 years. Very interesting. 2 people lived in 2 generations for 70 years. Canaan in the first generation, and it quotes our verse from earlier, Genesis 5:12. So what are the odds that these numbers match up, and we just happen to find the 2 verses quoted in the same midrash? It actually goes a little bit further. It says here in the Gate of Reincarnations, it quotes that Canaan was like a tikkun for Cain, so a fix or repair for Cain, and it mentions this in the Zohar, Parshat Terumah, which is the Torah portion we're reading now. But this is the Parshat Terumah in the Zohar. So let's read up on this. After that, Cain began his rectification through Kenan and Mahalalel, as mentioned in the Zohar in Parashat Terumah. And I just want to point this out too. This is one of the main qualities of the Cain root, extremes. On one hand, it is mostly bad. On the other hand, its good is outstanding. Coming from Gevirot, or strengths, the extremes are extra intense. It implants in creation the principle that extra good requires extra work to get to, or to get through the bad, but it is worth it. Those from this root undergo more trials and tribulations, but have much greater potential. And they point out as well, of course you probably know this, that the Nachash, or the snake or serpent, has the same gematria as Mashiach. This whole thing here reminds me of Jethro, who is also connected, as we'll see, because he comes from a certain background, but his good is great, and he was able to turn things around 180 degrees and eventually convert to Judaism. There is an interesting gematria here. So here we have Terumah, the name of our Torah portion. It just happens to have the same gematria as Ruel in the land of Edom. So who is Ruel? We know that Ruel is one of the names of Jethro. And here we have these names: Ruel, Yetro, Yitro, Hobab, Heber, the name that he shares with Moses. And then we have Cain and Putiel. Cain is interesting too because it comes from the word Kenite or Cainite, which is like a hint that he is a reincarnation of Cain, or he comes from Cain. This is his root. But he was also a Kenite. He's the most famous of the Kenites. And we know that there was a lot of metal work going into the construction of the tabernacle. It's interesting here that the Kenites, a member of a tribe of itinerant metalsmiths related to the Midianites and the Israelites, who plied their trade while traveling in the region of the Arabah. And it's very interesting that he has this name because they are the first real experts in metal. You can actually check this out by going all the way back to Genesis 4, because they kind of credit Tubal-Cain as being the first of the metalsmiths.